quite hysterical. I'm still trying to find where Ethan is. Done it again. Oh, you are, William, slightly nervous. Yeah.
Hi, there you go. Had to say,
Oh, there you are. Oh,
had to,
yeah.
hello.
Yeah, to answer your question, William, yeah, I am too. Because it's like we don't quite know what to expect, do we? You know, I know we're doing everything we can in relation to PPE and making sure the clients are safe as well as us, all of those things. But it's also from their perspective how they're going to feel. Are they going to be slightly nervous and slightly hesitant? Probably. And so we're going to have to like address that probably slightly differently than we ever did before. Anyway, it's G&T Fridays. What have you got there, Ethan?
I have a gin and tonic and a vodka and Coke, and somewhere I've got
Oh,
some Jaeger bombs down below just to finish it off like a normal
we need it.
Friday.
It's Friday. It's Friday. So how's sunny California? I know you. Yes, how's sunny California, Sam? Thank you, Samantha.
Somebody's already had too many G&Ts, clearly.
Oh, rude. I know exactly what you're referring to. Sam's one of my oldest friends, and she just told me I look gorgeous, so she's there for life. So let's start from the beginning. Welcome. This is the first G&T Friday, and I'm really excited to do this now. It was Ethan's idea, and I think it's a really good idea to be able to have a bit of a chat, almost like we're in a pub, having a conversation, and see what's happening in each of our lives. So, Ethan, do you want to introduce it and see,
Yeah, absolutely. So, hi, cheers to everybody. L'chaim. Yeah, basically, I've been chatting to a number of people throughout the past couple of weeks, and certainly before. And I think what I have been taking for granted, I think many of us have been, that during this extended period of lockdown and this year, we take for advantage that when it comes to a Friday, we kind of we've got friends and family that we can say hello to. But for many of us, there isn't that. And I was speaking to a very dear friend of mine who it comes to the end of the week and that's it until Monday morning. She doesn't speak to anybody. And I thought, what a horrible concept for anybody to have to go through. And even though well-being is really high in the media at the moment, my heart does go out to the Prince, not Prince Philip. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Prince, what's his name? Harry, Prince Harry.
your heart goes out to him.
My heart goes out to Prince Harry, the multi-millionaire from one of the most powerful families in the world, and his wife, who's a multi-millionaire and part of that, and the billionaire, who interviewed them. And for me, their well-being really touched me. That I was really passionate about it. So for everybody else like us, I just wanted to, to give everybody the opportunity to join, be part of something, and have a bit of fun, have a laugh. Let's just, let's all try and help and support each other, which is what we do at ACH. And pretty much me and you do this every Friday anyway, don't we? As part of ACH, we catch up to say, what have we done? What are we going to do? And what's grabbed our attention this week? So that's it. So, and anybody else wants to, I've just got a Scrabble notification. I'm in the middle of a match online.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's how I'm keeping
Nerd
busy.
alert.
So, with that in mind,
Sharing is caring and all of that. Ethan just brought up Prince Philip, and I think we all want our heart goes out to the Queen. What an amazing life he led. It's pretty impressive at 99 years old. So rest in peace. Yeah. So what else what are we going to go on for as well?
Yeah, I love all my Scrabble. Sorry.
I hope you'll just notice that alligator that just arrived on the scene there. Does he have a name yet?
Well, no, it's not mine. So I was just going to ask you, what are you most excited about for, now we've got, the 12th is upon us, so nearly. What are you looking forward to?
Well, I did have a slight breakdown last week because I didn't realize to the extent of how many people I trained throughout the last year. And maybe my naivety, I didn't think it was a year, because I think we all can say it went incredibly quickly. So suddenly there was all of these people that needed practical training, and I wanted to make sure that I could give that to them in a timely manner without having them to wait even longer because of the amount of delegates that are around, or participants that are around. But it's actually been amazing. I sent all the information out and everyone has been incredibly supportive and helpful. So the first one is actually on Tuesday next week, the 13th in London, and the 14th in London, meso and needling. And it's going to be weird. Like we just touched on, like I'm thinking, oh God, what do I need to bring? I need a suitcase. Do I have one? I need to
Do
get
you
on the
remember what
train.
an Oyster card looks like?
No, I have no idea. No idea. How do we use that? I have to Google that one. And then setting up and like the thought of all the things I need to bring with me, whereas months ago it was just second, it was easy, didn't have to think about it. But look, at the end of the day, the good thing is I'm going to be in a room for the first time for a very long time, being able to teach people who are really passionate about what they do and give them the practical training that they did the theory for many, many months ago. So I'm really excited about that.
What about on a person? So that's a work, great, fantastic, getting back into the swing of things. But what else are you excited about? Walking the dog?
No. I don't do nature or anything like that. No, not so. I'm quite excited about the gyms reopening, which those that you know me will probably be now having a slight panic attack. The gyms are reopening, so I'm quite excited about that. I got kind of into it before lockdown. So I love swimming. So now I'm going to, well, I might not. I have to get one of those all-in-ones, like the Victorian things to cover everything up, considering what, lockdown bod and everything. But yeah, I'm actually really excited about that opening up so I can start training again.
Yeah, for me, I'm glad you asked, Andrew. For me, I think I'm most excited.
Oh yeah, what about me? Oh.
This is what this guy's about. So my best friend had his second child, brand new baby called Freya Jean, and I haven't met her yet. So I'm very excited for when lockdown eases to go out. This is actually for Louis, his other son, and I've got Freya Jean a present. So I'll be looking forward to seeing them. I'm going back to the gym because I have put on like a stone in weight.
Well, you're a gym bunny anyway, aren't you?
Usually, you couldn't really tell this. Look at Leo. Does anybody have any good solutions to get rid of double chins?
Oh, don't. They'll all have something.
So, what else has been happening? What have you been focusing on this week? The week just gone.
Really, the focus has been about getting everything together for next week and the coming weeks for all of the education platforms going forward. So we've got the lovely Sam.
Lipo, thank you.
Yeah. Sam's coming up she's doing her training in Manchester. I'll be there for the second lot, so that'll be really good. All the teamwork is going to be quite nice to be able to see it rather than actually just doing it over the phone. So yeah, next week's going to be a busy one. We've updated the website. It's taken a while.
Yeah,
that's very stressful. I've got to finish it. Or add all the, fluff. So that's quite exciting. So in the next couple of days, you can have a little look on it and see some updates. The big one is Ethan's training that he's just completed.
Completed, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The new skills catalogue, which was so cool. I listened to them as well.
Got good feedback.
And I learned loads. So, that's really cool. I've been in the industry for 100 years and, you tend to think what you're doing, and then someone comes along and just kind of rocks the boat slightly and makes you think in a slightly different direction. And it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So I'll let them know when the new dates are coming out.
Well,
So
thank
well
you.
done, Ethan. You
Yeah.
got some good feedback, didn't you?
Well, yeah. Do you know what? It really was great, and I think I think so, half people who some people I knew already, and they knew what I do for a for a living in my previous life, and I think that's moving away. I haven't worked. Let me hang on. Let me take a step back. Whilst I have worked in the legal sector for about the past 15 years, my role within that is purely from an occupational psychologist point of view. So it's all about people's behaviors and people's communication skills, and so that essentially is what a lot of what we're doing with the other skills catalog is about. So it's not just about people coming at things from a legal perspective or from a compliance perspective. This is about I understanding. I have a diploma in counselling psychotherapy, and I got British Psychological Society qualifications I was forced to do. And so this is what these other skill trainings are about. And I think it went down really well. And understanding the behavior and how to address certain types of behavior is it's just key within your industry. So yeah, but we're doing more though. I think already got a wait list for a couple of them. So so yeah, that was all
Brilliant.
good.
Yeah, it was a
And
nice thing to add to it.
full steam ahead. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to actually, as I think we raised last time, like doing the role play with people, because that is so powerful. So, allowing people to practice their skills, their soft skills in a really safe environment, and get feedback, adjust, and just let everybody be the best that they possibly can. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And also, I think I'm being an assistant during practical on Monday, aren't I?
Yeah, you've got to help me out on the Wednesday because you're going to have to play Nursey. I'm going to get you an outfit and everything. You're going to do that. It'd be great.
Ooh.
But doing that, what you just touched on too is the doing the role play thing.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I may be wrong. Tell me if I am, but I don't believe that in the aesthetic industry, especially, that's ever adopted. I know it is medically and certain things like to do a diagnostic that is, but I've never seen it done outside of that. So I think that's pretty impressive too, to be able to understand to do, you know, I mean, I hate them personally, force me into it, can't stand it. It's like doing karaoke. Oh my God. But once you're forced into it, you're forced outside of your comfort zone. And if you're doing like consultation skills, diagnostic, dysmorphia, all the things that Ethan was teaching, that was the bit that I got a lot out of because it made me actually physically come out of my comfort zone and do a consultation from a very different perspective rather than just being, told how to via an online webinar or,
Well, yeah.
a lecture,
I know,
and getting very difficult customers.
it comes up to what we were talking about. We were talking about this previously before we started this stream. Just going to conferences, and and when you're presenting at conferences, or when you are looking to make a big personal impact in a world that is full of people trying to achieve and do the same thing, how are you going to stand out? And a lot of that is from your networking skills, but your personal impact skills. And that's something that I've worked. If you think about the background that I've worked in, even outside of legal, but for some quite very dull, boring people. I'm not going to name names or industries, but they are then expected to go to to a conference of 5,000 people and stand out. So think of from a bit, how are they going to get the business in? Because people, hi, my name is Tony and I work in insurance. Do you want to come and learn about stuff? No, not going to cut it. So it's those skills that we're going to be able to help with as well, and which I think is really exciting.
Definitely, definitely. The other thing that's really cool that I totally didn't take, I took completely for granted until the last couple of days, is this online World Skin Games.
Mm.
I got asked ages ago and didn't really take much notice, to be honest, because it was like a global webinar, online virtual thing, and I've done those before. but normally you just attend, do your thing, and there's no real interaction between the speaker and the audience. And a couple of days ago, I went on to the platform. It is insane. It's based in Los Angeles. Apparently, it's been around for a really long time. I had no idea. They do awards. It's global. And literally, it's even, I think it's only about, it's $17. I know that. So, £12 or something to actually register. But loads of people are there. So you actually have booths, literally like you're at a show, and the booths are all set up. People are on them, and their little names are on the top of their head flashing. So you know who they are. You can interact. You can shake their hand. You can have a conversation. And then the auditorium, honestly, I'll post some pictures on Instagram in a minute. Actually, I took some screenshots of the computer this morning. Talk about name up in lights. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. So now I'm starting to panic. So now I've got to prepare something for it. I think it's the 18th, I believe. Sam's doing it to a couple of other people I know. So that'll be worth doing it, because I really think that that's kind of the way forward a little bit. I mean, there's nothing like obviously face to face and touching someone, but these global conferences that are now starting to be virtual are probably going to be the way forward. And also, am I going to meet people in Los Angeles? No, not unless I pick up the phone or email, that kind of stuff. But even though you're not technically there in person, you kind of are. So you will be able to go to these various booths that are literally, as I said, like are global, and have a conversation with these people and interact. So if that's
all about it's the interaction, isn't it? Moving from people just sat there listening. So it's trying to just recreate that concept, that open space concept. It looked really impressive.
It really is impressive, and even if so say it will be, because Ethan's going to be manning the booth. While I'm on stage. Fabulous.
Two of us probably, actually.
So if I wanted to meet him or anyone, you just type his name into this box, and you automatically turn up next to them. So if there are distributors or medics, beauty therapists, whoever that you're interested in speaking to, they don't have a choice but to have a conversation with you, because if you type their name in, you go straight to them. It was really cool. So that's going to be fun, trying to pull that together next week as well. Good. What about you? What are you up to next week, apart from playing Nursey?
I will be mostly reading my book, delivering some online learning, as it were, and just really looking at how everybody is getting on and what the world's going to look like now they're back.
Sam, I'm not coming back to Beverly Hills.
I was going to say the one thing what is, for everybody watching, what's the biggest question that or what's the biggest challenge people are going to face next week and going forward? What do you think their biggest challenge is going to be?
Oh, good question.
I think for me, it's going to be finding a nurse's outfit that will actually fit me. What about yours?
Mine? Well, the scrubs are a little bit tight. So I may need to not eat between now and Tuesday. So pretty much the same things, really.
I think, interacting after so long. Do you know what? I think
that's absolutely spot on. I think, because you've got to make them feel. You've got to feel comfortable. They've got to feel comfortable. They've got to feel supported and safe. It's going to be a bizarre one. But if you look at human nature, I think lots of us are quite nervous, but by the end of next week, it'll probably be back to normal. We'll feel it's back to normal
with regards to feeling comfortable with being around clients.
When we had that 2 or 3 weeks, wasn't it, just before Christmas, where we had that moment of time where we could actually go into clinic. But it was so short and sweet that most of us don't remember it. But I remember you know, for the first time, getting the visors and then the mask and then everything else. I mean, I work in a clinic every other Friday in Ealing, and it's a CQC, and that's incredible. I mean, you've got these masks with the things here with like, it's literally like something out of a science fiction movie. So that will, and that's going to go on for the very, you know, how, I mean, how, we don't know how long that's going to go on for, but it is for the foreseeable future that we're going to have to very much get used to these, this concept of masks and visors and everything else. But also, because most people in the aesthetic arena, and very much so in the beauty arena, are very, very nice people. They don't want to be pushy or demanding, and you know, in a way, we kind of have to be a little bit now, like making sure that they have washed their hands, they have sanitized, they are wearing the right PPE. I mean, it happened to me at Christmas in Ealing. Someone walked in without doing any of those things, and it was really hard for me to turn them away. It really goes against the grain, doesn't it? But you know, we have to, because it's our safety and other people's safety at risk here. And what about the COVID jab? Has anyone had that?
Oh, that's a good point. You've had yours? I haven't had. I
had the first one. I'm of a certain age, you see.
I've got to wait until it comes down to the under 30s before I'm even, you know, can start.
Yeah, well, you're younger than me anyway, so you've got a while.
I know there's Hannah's on here, and
Hannah, why are you laughing? Hannah's my niece. She's just like howling emoji.
Whatever that means. We had a lovely Easter going. Well, over Easter when we went to your brother's with Hannah and your mum, and we had a lovely, lovely day on the boat.
Yeah, my brother's got a boat. It's amazing, and it's really nice to go down there on the marina and just sit there and listen to the noise of the other boats and stuff. It's beautiful.
No way, Sam! You don't want to jab?
No, she's scared.
I think it's an interesting one, isn't it? It's, you know, what, you know, I know a lot of people have had it, and there's a lot of stuff, you know, the under 30s may not get the AstraZeneca jab now. And, you know, what's going to be your client's expectations? Is it going to be a case of, will they go, have you had the jab? Is that something that will be disclosed? Or reassured? These are just questions, you know, from speaking to people last week on the training. I know there's very mixed views about, actually, I want to tell my clients that I've had a jab, and therefore the risk of them passing on the virus or me actually getting ill from the virus is lower now. And do I ask them if they've had the jab? What's going to be the etiquette? What's the, you know, without, you know, being a bit like a police state?
I know. Well, I'm kind of on the fence on this one, but I mean, Sam's put there quite rightly. A lot of people think it's experimental. It's the most tested drug probably ever created. The thing that people get confused of, and the thing is, it's media, and especially social media. The reason a drug does not take 7 years to create, it can take almost no time at all. The reason it takes 7 years is because you've got pharmaceutical companies and governments trying to work out how much money they can make. And I know there's drugs sitting there waiting who can cure all sorts of things, but does this country own it? Does this country own it? How can we make X, Y, and Z? It's literally all about money. So it's never about the testing or anything else. And both of the drugs, or the two that we know of, have had obscene amounts of testing, far more than most other drugs ever have. So we know that they are safe from that perspective. Going forward, any drug is going to have issues. Every single one of them.
Any single, even paracetamol has. It has a risk. Anything does. It's, you know, I was speaking to a friend of mine who was a doctor, and he was saying basically any risk of taking the drug outweighs the risk of getting and, you know, contracting COVID-19 and having those effects. You know, he said quite clearly, I'd rather have an effect from taking the jab than from having corona. So
because the jab effect will be most of the time quite minimal and little in things that could possibly happen, whereas with corona, look what possibly could happen. It's much bigger. I mean, I know lots of friends of mine, medics, who are actually stating that they won't treat unless you prove that you've had the jab. And even though that does sound slightly police state-ish, I'm kind of with them in some respects. So I kind of respect it because they know that they've got to look after themselves and all the patients that are coming in afterwards, and not really. And it's difficult. It's difficult. I mean, I'm not.
But what about just I'm my main concern is obviously outside of not having had the actual jab yet, and probably won't for quite some time. What's your view on having a passport to go to the pub? Because that's my main concern.
I mean, I think that's probably taking it a tiny bit too far on that one. I think if you're going in a clinical environment, I kind of get my head around that, but the social side, no. But then is it the same with flying? If you're stuck in a metal tube with a few hundred people and 2 or 3 people haven't had the jab, could they then infect or affect situations within it? Again, this is a conversation that could go on for infinity, and I don't think there's a right or wrong answer in any of them. Opinions.
I think rely on
right
data, isn't it? I think the scientific data is what I tend to go by.
Well, I do too, and that's the same thing with all the social media platforms. I'm not on it anymore for that exact reason, because it drives me crazy. But it's not difficult.
Sorry, I'm just reading now. Quite happy to have the jab, but wouldn't feel comfortable forcing someone else to have it. Absolutely right. You've got to think about
you're absolutely right. That's
individual
absolutely right.
rights in this context.
So anyway, that's a deep one. Let's get over that.
So, right. Well, what books have you been
reading? Any
reading?
other questions, Ethan? I just pressed something and all sorts of weird things
what
is
have you
happening.
done?
I don't know. I'm not going to press it again because it'll probably go horribly wrong.
Well, I think for this first one, I think it's only wanted to spend just half an hour just welcoming and talking to everybody and just saying, we're going to do this regardless if we have 1 viewer or 1 million. It doesn't matter. This is just somewhere that people can just drop in when they want, for 10 minutes, for 15 minutes, for 30 minutes, and have the opportunity to say what's keeping them up at night or what's been going really well for them. So that's what I wanted to achieve from this. So, and I hope everybody else has just thought, light-hearted, fun convo with some good points as well.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think it's been fun, and we'll do it next Friday and we'll just see what happens. Just work with it.
And if anybody's got any questions, throughout the week, just send them over to the ACH Aesthetics, or if something that you think, why don't we have a discussion on this, then we can raise those points. We could even have guest speakers, couldn't we?
We could have all those things. Yeah, no, I've got a few in mind.
Hannah could do a
guest spot. Yes.
On
favorite
topics, which are HRVY. Is that Harvey without the vowels? I'm just trying to think. And also, I think we'll have to introduce the modelling pics that we took on the boat. Do you want to just say what you were teaching Hannah, myself, and your brother, and the lovely Brenda? What were you doing?
Teaching them how to pose.
How'd you do it?
Stop it. I think everyone on here has seen the images of me.
Maybe next week you can show everybody how to pose for a picture.
Okay. Moving on. I think next Friday is going to be a good one, actually, because it'll be our first week back. Yeah. So we'll be able to get some feedback on how everyone's week went and stuff like that. So that'll be really good.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to go.
All right, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye, Mr. Crocodile. And
it's like Rod Hull and Emu. Do you remember that?
Sam, stop it. Ethan.
How to mime.
Oh yeah, I was an England champion at miming. Stop. And that's actually the truth. Just saying. So so next Friday, amazing. And we can find out what's going on with everyone's week. Okay. All right. God
Which is
bless
pretty hard
everyone.
to laugh.
Have a great evening. Go and pour yourself a drink and enjoy your Friday and your weekend.